Well, this is the first month that 4,000 people in Ontario's basic income pilot will not be getting sustainable social assistance. Kathleen Wynne introduced it as Ontario Premier 2 years ago, almost to the date, in Hamilton. She's back this morning along with Floyd Marinescu of CEOs for Basic Income ahead of Appreciation Day in Hamilton for participants, and we'll get more about that in a moment. But Floyd, when I see the group name CEOs for Basic Income, it's almost to me counterintuitive, because you'd think, why would you be worried about a basic income for people?
Well, CEOs are very concerned with where the economy is going these days. People in Hamilton have seen 40 years of automation and globalization slowly eroding the middle class, and we're seeing that there could be massive job losses. Experts are predicting up to half of all jobs could be lost in the next 10 to 15 years. But even if that doesn't happen, we can see all the trend lines are showing a slow erosion of the middle class. CEOs are concerned about that because businesses are driven by customers, businesses are driven by spending. And we see basic income as a way to preserve and enhance our customer base. What could be more pro-business than that?
Right. You were also talking earlier about entrepreneurs, how many entrepreneurs don't have a lot of income to start with. Those with the basic income that were in the pilot project, some were starting their own businesses.
Yeah, we are at a multi-decade low in terms of the vitality of entrepreneurship in North America these days. There are more businesses closing than opening on a year-to-year basis, the first time that started since 2010. So we see basic income as a way to stimulate entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship should be accessible to everyone, not only the children of wealthy people. In fact, a lot of the CEOs who signed the letter came specifically from that angle. They really want to see entrepreneurship accessible to everyone.
Okay. Kathleen, I mean, it's almost coming full circle in a sad kind of way that you were in Hamilton in 2017, April 2017, announcing this program. Is today's conference, is it kind of a wake for what happened?
Well, it's a very sad day. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's really painful to know that we had an opportunity to gather evidence about a program that I believe was making and would make a huge difference in people's lives. But it is also an idea whose time had come and will come again. You know, I feel very strongly that we will see a basic income in one form or another in this province, in this country, at some point. I hope sooner rather than later. We needed the evidence from this pilot in order to inform how we'd go forward. When I made the decision as the Premier that we were going to institute a pilot, I was looking back at work that had been done in the 70s in Manitoba that demonstrated when people had, as you said, a sustainable income, their health outcomes were better, their educational attainment was better, the community did better. So, you know, there's already some evidence that this would work. We were starting to see that in the pilot here in Ontario, and I truly believe that this is not a wake. We will find a way forward. Unfortunately, the current government has decided to cancel this pilot, and what I wanted to do today is to thank all the people who stepped up and took part, because 4,000 people took a real risk.
About 1,000 of them in Hamilton alone, and I understand that a number of them will be there. I just remember anecdotally, because we'd been doing stories as the program was going along when it was still there, of one woman struck me, that I remember, was that she was able to buy a new winter coat for the first time ever. And we're not talking a ton of money here. No. It's about $17,000 for a year.
We're not talking about people living like kings in any way, but we are talking about more dignity. We're talking about just that little bit, as you say, a winter coat, getting your car back on the road, being able to finish a course, being able to have the resources to start a small business, and to make a transition into a life that is more sustainable. So that's good for individuals, it's good for families, but it's good for the economy. And that's the argument that gets lost in this. This is not about doing something because it is the right or moral thing to do, although it is. But it is also about making sure that we have a strong economy in this province. And it's interesting to me that the current government, which is a Conservative government here in Ontario, has actually cancelled a program that was a Conservative idea to start out with. You know,
in Manitoba.
In Hugh Siegel, who is the person who advised us and really mentored us through the development of this project. You know, he was a conservative, a progressive conservative, has been for years.
That's right.
And this is about finding a way to help people to be more independent.
That's right. Basic income is pro-free market. It is pro-business. Exactly. It'll stimulate spending. It'll help us manage recessions better, managing consumer confidence better. Like, what's not to like? You can end poverty and grow the economy.
Mm-hmm. And it's all about ending that cycle of welfare or social assistance dependence, right?
Right.
How would it do that? Was there a point at which these people would kind of be moved along and then get off of the basic income?
So that's what we were trying to tease out, because what often happens when people are on social assistance is that we were talking about this before, they get
it's a cycle, yeah,
right? Because they are constantly reporting to social workers there. They don't have enough money to actually finish taking a course or to buy the clothes to go into a job interview. There are all sorts of barriers. And so what the basic income is intended to do is to give them just that little bit extra that allows them to make a transition. We always talk about social assistance being a transitional program, but it's often not a transitional program.
Right.
It's often a dead end. And my hope was that we would find out that basic income could actually be the way that people could make their lives more independent. They could transition, or they could be part of their community in a different way.
Right.
There are lots of ways to be involved in community, but if you don't have food on your table, you can't do those things. You can't volunteer. You can't help your neighbors. You can't help that senior who needs support.
Okay.
Right?
Lots to talk about. The all-day conference, we're going to cover it on the evening news at 6. Also have details on chch.com. Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Annette.